Hello, everyone. I want to start doing these videos for cycle overviews, basically big picture training cycle overviews, as well as weekly training overviews so that you can get an idea of what the goal is, what we're working on, why we're working on that, what you should feel during each session and each week, what weeks are really accumulating a lot of fatigue, what you should kind of expect. I think that giving purpose to what you're doing is really, really the goal, and keeps you adhering long term to a program. So I want to make sure that expectations are really, really clear, goals are really, really clear for the cycles, and we start a new one on, today is the 16th. So we have testing for our current cycle on Monday, the 20th. So that week will kind of be a testing week and then a deload. And then a new training cycle starts April 27th. So this new cycle, big picture overview. By the way, sorry about my voice. Thank God, yesterday I got some antibiotics, but I have, I think, bronchitis or something. I had a really bad cold the last 3 weeks that turned into some bacterial infection. Anywho, that's why my voice sounds this way. It does not always sound this way, but I really wanted to make sure that I do these videos for you guys. So I'm going to paste this chart that I made. I'll put it on the video here so you can see it. It's really like pause the video and take a look at it. I'm also going to send it via email so you guys know what's going on. But this is a big picture if you're like a visual person and like these like charts. Basically, I broke down like, it's a 9-week training cycle. Block 1 is 4 weeks long. Day 1, we're focused on this. Day 2, day 3, day 4, etc. And then block 2, same thing, the length of it. And then when we're testing and deloading. So take a look at it, pause it, whatever. Refer back to it if you need to. But basically this new cycle that we start on the 27th, I titled it Axis. Why not? Axis Team Training. Most of them have a name just so I know what I'm referring to. Basically, there's no real point of it. But this is a 9-week cycle total. So 9 weeks of training. We've got 2 training blocks that are 4 weeks long. And then week 9 is testing, so reassessments, and then deloading. So basically, we are going to continue with strength work. So let me refer back to the cycle we're working on now, which, as you guys know, we've been focused on the big 3 for the last 10 or 11 weeks, and we have hammered on squats, deadlifts, and bench. We've had one aerobic day on Tuesdays, as you guys know. Midweek was kind of like a nice pump workout. I've really liked those. And then Fridays, we've done some single leg, single arm type stuff, and then a trunk strength grind to kind of wrap up the week. So I want to continue because we've kind of like lowered the reps and sets for the big 3 as the cycle has gone on. And I just want to keep going with that. I don't want to completely transition and get rid of that. So this is the perfect time to go from the 3 to 5 rep range for squat, bench, and deadlifts, and go down to really building to like a new 1 rep max. And I think that fits really well. Just so everyone joining Axis Team Training kind of has like baseline numbers to work on and work from. So we are going to switch up. We're not going to continue squat, bench, and dead. We are going to continue with deadlifts. I did keep those in there because we can really build a huge 1 rep max based on the training that we just put in on the current cycle. So I am going to switch. We're not going to do back squats. We're going to transition to front squats. And then Wednesdays, we are going to do a strict press instead of a bench press. So we've got an overhead press, we've got a front squat, a squat variation, and then we're still going to work on deadlift. So that'll be our main strength work for this 9-week cycle. And how it's broken down, Again, you can refer back to the little chart thing. But we will have strength days on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So those are like heavy, heavy strength, low reps. And we're actually going to use a Hepburn style progression. It's not exactly the Hepburn progression if you're familiar with it, which is typically like 8 sets of 2, 8 sets of 3. It's a lot of sets, like 1 to 3 reps, around 80% of your max usually. That works great. I just didn't want to only focus on one lift per day, and the 8 sets can kind of take a long time. So I did lower it. It's a Hepburn style progression, I called it. I basically just lowered the sets. So we're going to do 6 sets. And then we're going to do a couple back off sets too. So basically, like for example, so we're going to test front squat right off the bat. That's day 1. And then you're going to do 6 sets of 2 at 75 to 85% of that max. That's week 1. But the next week, and this is what it'll look like moving forward, next week front squats will be 6 sets of 3 at 75 to 80% of your max. And then you're going to drop down to 65% of that working number and complete 2 sets of higher reps, 6 to 8. And we'll do that for front squats, strict press, and then deadlifts on Friday. So like I said, so day 1, we've got front squats, that style progression. Day 3, which would be Wednesday, we're going to do same progression, but for strict press. And then day 6, which is Saturday, we'll do that same progression for deadlifts. And the idea is to eventually build up to a 1 rep max. So the assessments will be strength-based for this whole cycle. And it'll be week 9. And it'll look like Monday you come in, you test your 1 RM front squat. We're going to probably rest on the day after that. Then you're going to test 1 rep max strict press on Wednesday. I think maybe I have some type of like aerobic, short aerobic, like 30-minute cardio type session the following day. And then this is where it's going to get kind of fun is Thursdays. I guess technically Thursdays are rest day. So Fridays, we're going to do sprints. It's basically a body weight session. The whole thing is body weight, which I think is really cool. So we'll do some type of sprint variation. I have some rolling start sprints, some prone to sprint, some just basic sprints, some really rough like plyometrics, followed by a short sprint. So for example, like you do 6 rounds of three jump squats, something that will fatigue your legs, and then a 20, 30-yard sprint. 6 rounds of that, and then followed by a push-up, pull-up, and sit-up progression. So this is, like I said, this is Fridays, just to be clear. So it'll be some type of sprint workout, and then push-up, pull-up, sit-up progression. And that'll be kind of probably every minute on the minute style or percentage based on a test. So the first week is a test, doing your max of those 3 push-up, pull-ups, and sit-ups. And then we'll work on those every single Friday throughout the 9 weeks. Okay, so that covers day 1, day 3, day 6, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And then Fridays that I just said is sprint and body weight. And then so that leaves one more day, which is day 2, Tuesdays. We have been doing long aerobic, like VO2 max type work. We are going to change that up for the first block of this. We're going to do short duration, work capacity, and conditioning. So we're going to do some Tabata type stuff, which is 8 seconds of 20 seconds go really hard, 10 seconds rest. We'll do that of something like week 1 is kettlebell swings, just to give you an example, followed by, so you take a break, you're going to do that Tabata set, you're going to take 2 to 3 minutes of rest, and then you're going to go into this circuit style, short duration work capacity where you work really, really hard for 2 minutes, rest for 1 minute, repeat. I'll give you guys an example of this so you can see what we're talking about. But so 2 hard conditioning bouts on Tuesdays, followed by 12 minutes of trunk strength. Yeah, so that kind of rounds out the whole week. And so block 1 is 4 weeks long. It is going to be 3 strength days, 1 short duration work capacity, and then that sprint and body weight day. Block 2 is going to be similar, but we're going to switch to a density, like EMOM style. So every 2 minutes on the minute, complete X amount of front squats at this percentage. And that just kind of controls your rest time. And that's really the goal of it, is you start a set at every 2 minutes. So you only have a certain amount of rest. We're going to continue the push-up, pull-up, sit-ups, and sprint stuff throughout block 2. And then we're also going to go back to the long aerobic stuff in block 2. And then week 9, testing and deload. So again, refer back to this little chart thing that I put on the screen. I will also send it an email so you guys can see what's going on. But I also plan to do 1 short video. It will not be 10 plus minutes long like this one. I will do it at the beginning of every week and just kind of post it in the notes. And you guys can check maybe on Sunday or Monday morning or whatever. Kind of watch this like short, I'll try to make them under 5 minutes, video of the week so that you know what's going on, what you're aiming for, how tired you should feel, how hard to go in each session, all of that kind of stuff. So hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions on this next cycle, please write them in the comments or in the chat thread. I think it'll be a good cycle, and I think it transitions really well from what we're working on now. So, all right, that's it. Peace out. Let's train hard.